for the next 48 hours, he's with me. So, and we gonna go full crazy.
Going crazy.
I've seen TD Jakes at his house.
But now, with the turmoil that was stricken and that has been looming in ministry, with him, with others, with this, with that.
It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is, TD Jakes, any of them.
Sean Diddy Combs has been arrested in a Manhattan hotel.
Homeland Security actually taking the lead on this case.
I mean, this was a meteoric fall from grace.
What he should be trying to do right now is work his way towards God now, for real, and not that devil we've been worshiping.
So there's a lot of really disturbing information coming out related to P. Diddy, involving big names like TD Jakes and Justin Bieber. I put together some of the latest videos and information for us to think and talk about, and in the last clip, we're going to see an unearthed old clip of Diddy basically admitting to all of this a long time ago. Here's Diddy's former bodyguard commenting on his experience with Diddy, God, and the devil.
And when they come out with this other stuff, he gonna come back to work. I wouldn't be surprised if he do the ultimate sin, his side.
This bodyguard seems to be a Christian, since he refers to suicide as a sin.
Because, bruh, he's such a narcissistic that he couldn't stand not being somewhere and not being seen. His whole life, his whole career was about him being seen in the public. It was about him, taking everybody else's dreams and making them his. And now him nor his kids would profit from anything from Bad Boy or Sean Puffy Combs again. His kids is gonna suffer behind this.
It's really sad the kind of life Diddy's kids must be living, to have a father like this who is one of the most despicable people on the planet. Let's pray that these kids will have some godly influences in their lives.
Wow, man, that's crazy to hear, man. And knowing Diddy, you think it's a good chance he might take his life?
He was talking about taking his life at the City College thing. Yo, D. Ferg, ASAP Ferg's father, say, yo, man, we gotta watch him, man. This talking about killing himself. I say, so let him. If you're that weak, I said, let him. And he said, Eugene, why you say that? I said, man, listen to me, man. He ain't no good to nobody if he talking about hurting himself. His life don't belong to him. His life belong to God. What he should be trying to do right now is work his way towards God now, for real, and not that devil we've been worshiping.
He thinks Diddy should be working his way towards God and not towards that devil he's been worshiping. The bodyguard is completely right, and I think it would be pretty incredible if God does indeed transform Diddy's heart. What this bodyguard said is something we should all be doing, because God is definitely real, and God is the one who is sovereign over everything. Some really disturbing clips have been going around on social media about Diddy's relationship with Justin Bieber, who now professes faith in Jesus Christ. There's a face that Justin makes in this first video that looks pretty chilling to me.
Justin, you ever seen the movie 48 Hours? Right now, he's having 48 hours with Diddy, him and his boy. They're having the times of their lives, like where we hanging out and what we doing. We can't really disclose, but it's definitely a 15-year-old's dream. I have been given custody of him. He signed to Usher.
I'm signed to Usher.
I had legal guardianship of Usher when he did his first album. I did Usher's first album. I don't have legal guardianship of him, but for the next 48 hours, he's with me. So
Look at Justin's face here. Maybe this is a real smile, but it looks really forced, and it almost seems like he's terrified or almost being held hostage. I mean, P. Diddy basically has complete custody and control of Justin for 48 hours, and I feel like that should be terrifying for any 15-year-old.
And we gonna go full crazy.
Going crazy.
Diddy is talking about going crazy with a 15-year-old. There's just so many things about this clip that are incredibly disturbing and wrong. Here's another clip of Diddy wondering why Justin doesn't really seem to want to hang out with him anymore.
Starting to act different, huh? You ain't been calling me and hanging out the way we used to hang out.
Well, I mean, you try to get in contact with me, through all my, partners and whatnot. Mm-hmm. But you never really got my number, so.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know, maybe because Justin found out about the kind of person Diddy really was and decided it wouldn't really be a good idea to spend time with Diddy anymore. Finally, here's a clip of Justin talking about the things he has gone through in the music industry.
I definitely feel protective of her. It was hard for me being that young and being in the industry and not knowing where to turn, and everyone, telling me they love me and, just turn their back on you in a second. I don't want her to lose it. I don't want her to, you know, go through anything I went through. I don't wish that upon anybody. So, yeah, if she ever needs me, I'm just a call away.
Nobody really knows everything that Justin has gone through. I know he became rich and famous because of what he did, so maybe he has nothing to complain about. But there are a lot of clips out there of lots of older people treating an underage Justin Bieber in extremely disturbing ways. There are a lot of things happening out there in this industry, and hopefully Diddy's arrest will be the start of more of these evil people being exposed. One of the biggest questions I have about this whole situation is why TD Jakes thought it would be a good idea to go to Diddy's parties. Here's Jason Lee talking about personally seeing TD Jakes at one of Diddy's parties.
You know, a lot of these celebrities, every single celebrity in the culture has been to Diddy's house, which means they've gone through all his phones, text messages. I can read you my text message to Diddy. What day is it airing on the show, on the network? Are you coming on the show? Diddy, what's this? It's all been business for me. It's been business for me. I don't have nothing inappropriate to them people because I don't deal with them like that. So you mean to tell me all those late nights, what you doing, where you at? I've seen Jay-Z at his house. I've seen TD Jakes at his house. I've seen Chris Brown at his house. I've seen Jordan Woods at his house. I've seen Travis Scott at his house. I've seen Beyonce at his house. I've seen Tiana Taylor. I've seen them all. Now, we was all in the backyard, but I've seen them all. I've seen Usher there. I've seen DaBaby there. I've seen Justin Bieber there. I've seen... Everybody's been to a Diddy party. I've seen Lindsay Lohan, Ashton Kutcher, Demi Moore, Tyrese, Amber Rose. I've seen them all. I've been there. Mary J. Blige. I've seen them all. But just because you go to a Diddy party doesn't mean that you were getting sprayed down with Vaseline and baby oil. Because I can tell you right now, ain't nobody ever sprayed me with nothing. And I don't even play around like that. Let me tell you about me.
I think it's pretty easy to understand why TD Jakes wanted to party at Diddy's house. Basically, every celebrity was invited to and went to Diddy's parties. And TD Jakes is a celebrity just like them. There's virtually no difference between TD Jakes, Oprah, and P. Diddy. All of them are just part of the world and love the things of the world. TD Jakes loves to be accepted by and around famous people like Diddy and Oprah, no matter how anti-Christian their beliefs and lifestyles are. This is why he completely ignores Diddy's sin and is happy to be buddies with Diddy, as shown in this video of them together. Here's a pastor named Keion Henderson commenting on TD Jakes' association with P. Diddy. First, Keion talks about why he's so loyal to TD Jakes.
You talked about your relationship with TD Jakes. How did that manifest and how has he been an asset in your life?
Man, so, wow, man, probably 15 years ago, I'm in Orlando, Florida. I was in J. Alexander Restaurant, and I had attended one of his conferences. He ain't know me, I only knew of him. I'm in the restaurant. I get up to walk out, and Bishop Jakes says, "Hey, somebody stop that young man. I can still hear his voice." He comes up to me and he says, "You've been praying and asking God to meet me." I said, "Sir, ever since I was 14 years old, I had a book in my book bag where I had always wrote my goals down, and one of the goals was to meet Bishop Jakes. I still got the book to this day." So he said, "Hey, man, I'll deal with you." He said, "I'll help you learn how to preach. I feel a connection." That same thing you talked about that a father and son has, that draw. Like, I knew he had something that I had, because now I know that I got to take what I'm doing to the next level. And my father, at best, was a local pastor. He never did anything nationally. He never wrote any books that he published. You know what I'm saying? Right. The stuff that I was trying to do, I needed another mentor, because I think that for every task, you need a teacher. So I brought on another task. I found me a sage, a teacher.
There's a lot that we could say about whether TD Jakes is the kind of mentor a Christian pastor should be looking up to. But since the purpose of this video isn't to do a full critique of TD Jakes' ministry and theology, I'll just point out that Jakes' prosperity gospel and worldliness are big red flags that any genuine Christian should have a lot of questions about.
He said, "I'll deal with you, but don't waste my time." His exact words. He said, "Give me a call." I'm excited, man. I got home. I told my mom, I'm like, "Man, Mom, I met Bishop Jakes in the restaurant, and he told me to call him." She said, "Well, have you called him?" I said, "Oh, man." He ain't even give me his phone number.
Gotcha. Got him.
But he shouldn't have challenged me because I found him anyway. There's a dude named Curtis Wallace, who was his producer of his movie Sparkle and his lawyer at the time. I knew him, and I called him. And I said, hey, man, I met Bishop Jakes in the restaurant. He told me to call him. This is what he had on. This is what I had on. He said, all right, let me try. Because he didn't believe me.
Yeah.
Bishop gives him his email address to give to me. He didn't give me his phone number, he gave me his email address. And he emailed me one day and he said, now at the time he emails me, I'm in Dallas, Texas at the Hilton Anatole, listening to a man at a network marketing convention say these exact words. I'm looking in your camera. He said, I make $1 million a month. And if you don't make $1 million a month, then you don't need to be talking when I'm talking. If you got to use the bathroom, don't go to the bathroom. I don't care what you do. You need to sit down and listen to me if you don't have what I have. He's saying that, and I get an email from Bishop Jakes that says, what's your phone number? I sent my phone number to him, and my phone is ringing while he's saying that. Block. So I'm like, I got a decision to make. I know who calling me, bro. Man, I got up and walked out right while he was talking, bro. I walked outside. It was 160 degrees in Dallas. I walked outside in a blue suit, sweating.
I just thought I'd point out here that what TD Jakes teaches is not actually that far off from what that guy was teaching. And arguably, it might be even worse. That man was probably a non-Christian, scamming desperate people with promises he can't deliver. But TD Jakes is actually a Christian megachurch pastor who scams desperate people with promises that aren't actually in the Bible.
God will always use whatever you got left. The blessing isn't in what you lost. The blessing is in what you got left. And if you will sow what you got left, God said, I'll give you back whatever it was.
Is it just me, or does this actually sound much worse than what the other man was saying?
We got a father-son relationship going. And man, the amount of information that man has poured into me, not just about the Bible. He was there when I closed my biggest real estate deal. He was there when I sold one of my tax companies. He was there when I got a loan. I got a $7 million loan to buy 24 acres. He was there. He was there when I bought 10 acres for $1.5 million and sold it for $3.6 million. He was there doing all of that at no charge. That's what I thought a father was supposed to do the whole way. So I figured in exchange for him being a great father, I'd be a great son. And I've tried my best to invest in what he's doing, whether it's take hundreds of people to his conferences, support his online ministry, anything that I could do. Because for me, the opposite of lazy love is reciprocity. Like if anybody been good to you, you gotta be good to them, no matter what anybody thinks. Like, you good to me.
Yes, sir.
I'm good to you.
So I respect that Keion wants to stay loyal to TD Jakes. But honestly, I think that either Keion is being a little blind to the severe problems with Jakes' ministry and theology, or Keion agrees wholeheartedly with it, which means there are probably some red flags with Keion's ministry as well. I did notice that he talked about dealing with millions of dollars of real estate and loans, so it seems like there is a large amount of wealth between these two pastors. I don't know the details of Keion's wealth, but I do know that a large portion of Jakes' wealth comes from preaching the scam prosperity gospel, which is really evil.
Because I don't let people determine how I'm gonna feel about somebody who's been good to me. I don't do that. You can't, the relationship you and I got, your biggest enemy can't make me turn my back on you.
Yes, sir.
That ain't how I roll.
But now, with the turmoil that was stricken and that has been looming in ministry, with him, with others, with this, with that.
Now they get to TD Jakes' close relationship with P. Diddy and what Keion thinks about that.
How does your faith, how does your stance with this person, where people know the connection? People know, like they say in the street, oh, that's your boy, ain't it?
And I'm like, yeah.
But how do you deter people from the chirpers?
You can't. And I'll just put it in the words of Kamala Harris when Dana Bash asked her a question about Donald Trump. Next question, please.
Keion is not going to question why a supposedly Christian pastor is hanging out at P. Diddy's house. At the very least, doesn't it seem at least a little hypocritical or contradictory for a Christian pastor to be spending time at parties like these and not for the purpose of communicating the gospel to these celebrities who are clearly lost?
But that could come on, Pastor.
Because I can't, listen, what I've learned with me, with you,
yes,
everybody, there's a negativity bias that all people's minds are inclined. All right. You scored 2 touchdowns today, threw 1 interception, ran for 115 yards, QB rating was 89. You had a good game.
A day.
Tomorrow, they talking about Tom Brady. You get in a fight at a barbecue, they talk about it for 2 weeks. Because the negativity bias of people's minds stays on negativity longer than they should. And here is the deal. I don't know nothing about nothing. So why am I gonna speak about something that I don't know nothing about? Ain't nobody gonna drag me in that conversation. Ain't nobody getting no sound bites out of me on that conversation.
Correct. Yeah, I do agree with what Keion said about people having a negativity bias. At the same time, though, is TD Jakes really someone who, besides his friendship with P. Diddy, has a spotless and glowing reputation? Sure, lots of people love him, but there's a strong argument that TD Jakes has done far more harm to the gospel of Jesus Christ than good. But for some reason, Keion doesn't seem to see any of that.
And because he don't deserve that from me. He don't deserve it from anybody who talking about it. And this is how you know it ain't real journalism. Real journalism asks questions of the accused before they post.
That's been gone at social media.
Facts. So since that can be one-sided, then my response is, he's been good to me. He's helped me through and navigated me through things that I wouldn't have had because my biological father was not there to do such. He's given me opportunities to preach on platforms. He's preached on ours. He's invested in our church. In fact, during our most recent hurricane situation that tore our building down, Bishop Jakes sent the second check to our church to help us to continue to go when we didn't even have a building to go into. So my last word is, he's been good to me. I'm gonna stay good to him.
I guess I do understand why Keion is choosing to stay completely loyal to TD Jakes. He has a strong conflict of interest here, and that's pretty understandable considering how much time, money, and resources Jakes has provided to Keion. But as someone from the outside looking in, I just can't get over the fact that Jakes saw nothing problematic about not only being so closely associated with P. Diddy, but also hanging out at Diddy's parties. And Jakes had to have known the kind of lifestyle that Diddy lived and the kind of parties that Diddy was known for throwing. Katt Williams may have his own problems, but he was completely right when he said that one day the truth will come out about everyone who is hiding something before God.
All of these big deviants is all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is, TG Jakes, any of them. All lies will be exposed. That's all. And anyone who takes that the wrong way, know why they take it the wrong way. The truth is the light.
The truth is certainly the light. And as Christians, we have hope that all darkness will one day not only be exposed, but also punished by the perfect justice of God. Finally, here is a shocking clip of Diddy basically admitting to the absolute degeneracy that happens at his parties on an interview with Conan O'Brien.
Okay, now we need alcohols.
Right.
Alcohols.
Right. Not just one alcohol.
Alcohols.
Right, just different blend. You need the ladies, you need the booze.
You need some water.
For watering plants?
No, I don't know if guys have noticed this, like a lot of ladies drink water at parties. They just, so if you don't have what they need, they're gonna leave.
Right.
Gotta keep them there.
Right.
You need locks on the doors.
Okay, this is sounding kind of dangerous now.
It's a little kinky, but
yeah.
Locks on the doors? You can tell Conan felt really uncomfortable hearing Diddy say that, since there's really no reason to have locks on doors unless you're doing something very wrong. It's pretty amazing that Diddy was able to get away with so much evil for so long.
Rock with me, but just check it out. You need a lot of heat. A lot of heat. Yeah.
Heat? You mean that physically the place has to be hot?
You don't have no air conditioning.
No air conditioning?
No.
Why is that?
Heat affects the alcohol, and it also affects, like, everybody gets a little bit more comfortable and loose. Builds up a nice little sweat.
That just sounds disgusting. What are you talking?
Depends on the way you look at it.
Depends. Oh, people start getting gets kind of sexy. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, you sexy.
I'm glad Diddy is behind bars now, but it's just shocking to hear about all of these things that are coming out about him and his criminal behavior. Diddy is facing justice now. But it would be wrong to think that compared to Diddy, God must think that I am okay. Because apart from repentance and faith in Jesus Christ, we are all rebel sinners who deserve hell and the wrath of God for refusing to glorify God and obey his revealed word. The fact that Diddy is facing punishment for his crimes should be a reminder to us that without Jesus, we will all also one day face infinitely worse punishment for our crimes against an infinitely holy and righteous God.
We need to tell people that every unforgiven sin, every sin committed by every person who rejects Jesus Christ will be justly punished by God forever in a place called hell. This is not new. This is what the Bible has said. You can go back to Moses. You can go back to the Pentateuch, the first section of books in the Bible. In Deuteronomy 32:22, it reads this way in the Authorized Version, "A fire is kindled, says God, in my anger and burns to the lowest part of hell." The 1611 King James Version made it clear even that early that the anger of God reached into hell. Our Lord's first New Testament sermon was a sermon on hell. Jesus is a hellfire preacher.
Hi, my name is Mike. I'm a deacon, a husband, a father, a software engineer, and an amateur maker of videos. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you want to help me in my mission to spread biblical truth, just subscribe and watch these videos until the end, which will help the YouTube algorithm recommend these videos to more people. I'm committed to using the skills and gifts God has given me to glorify Him and communicate biblical truth. And I would be so grateful if you would come be a part of what I'm building. You can visit my website at joyfulexile.com to learn more about me and what I'm working on. I hope you're having a blessed day. I will see you in the next video. And remember, this world is not our home.